Man, it's taken a few days to even start talking about this one. There's just been so much going on with the Ravens lately that the loss to the Chiefs somehow got pushed to the side. But we can't dodge it forever. We've got to talk about it, even if it's painful. That game against Kansas City, Ravens got cooked. 37-20. At home, on national TV. It wasn't just a loss, it was an unraveling. And honestly, I think what made it worse was how predictable it felt. The same script, same mistakes, same mental roadblocks that seem to show up every time Baltimore faces the Chiefs. Now let's talk about that offense, man. Because it's wild how this unit just completely loses itself whenever Kansas City is on the other side. I mean, the game starts and the first drive was like a dream. Smooth, balanced, short passes, strong runs. It looked like the Ravens were finally going to punch back. I was hype. I thought, okay, maybe this is it. Maybe they finally figured something out. But nah, that first drive was straight up fool's gold. As soon as that possession ended, it's like the whole game plan got thrown in the trash. They abandoned the run. The rhythm disappeared. It's like they saw what worked and said, let's stop doing that. And I know people have been pointing fingers at Todd Monken. And yeah, he deserves some of it. Especially after John Harbaugh basically called him out publicly, saying he went away from the original game plan. But then you gotta ask, if you're the head coach and your offensive coordinator is out there freelancing, what are you doing? You're supposed to step in. You're the one with the headset. If Monken's drifting, reel him back in. That whole situation just speaks to a bigger problem. It's like this staff forgets how to function against the Chiefs. And it ain't about talent. It's mental. They walk into these matchups already beaten in their heads. That 3rd and 1 call deep in the red zone. That's the kind of stuff that makes fans lose it. 2 solid runs from Derrick Henry. Momentum going your way. Defense on its heels. It's 3rd and short. You've got arguably one of the best power backs in the league on your side. And what do? Shotgun formation. No Derrick Henry on the field. Like what? Why are we doing this? You're asking Lamar to make magic out of a bad setup, and it's not just a one-time thing. This isn't new. This happens week after week. Bad formation. Predictable call. Missed opportunity. And then fans are expected to just clap it up and move on. What's more frustrating is that this ain't about talent. This offense can be good. Todd Monken has actually done a solid job overall this season. The route concepts are better. The receivers look like they're being developed. Lamar has definitely elevated under Monken. We're seeing a version of him that's more comfortable, more decisive, most of the time. But when the pressure is on and the situation calls for precision, the play calling just falls apart. It's wild. Monken can cook up a beautiful game plan, but when it's 4th and goal or 3rd and 2, it's like he forgets how to call football. And that's a real issue. You can't win playoff games like that. You definitely can't beat Mahomes like that. Now, speaking of Lamar, this wasn't one of his better days. He had pressure in his face all game long. Blitz after blitz. Kansas City's defense was living in the backfield. And yeah, he missed some reads. That pick he threw? That was tough. Pressure coming at him. And instead of hitting Likely, who was open, he forces it to Mark Andrews. The ball was underthrown. Easy interception. Later, he fumbled on what looked like a sack, but it turns out it was his own guy, Tyler Linderbaum, who knocked the ball out. Friendly fire. That just shows how messy it was. Not just bad execution, bad luck on top of it. But even more than the turnovers, you could see Lamar was just off. Mentally, emotionally, rhythm-wise. There was a 4th and 2 play where he dropped back, didn't see anything, and just threw it away. On 4th down. Like, that's not Lamar. That's not the guy who usually fights for every inch. Then later in the game, backup Cooper Rush does the same thing. Just tosses it away on 4th down. That right there tells you everything about the mindset of this team during that game. No aggression. No bite. Just going through the motions. Like they were already checked out. Derrick Henry only got 8 carries. 8. In a game where he was clearly having success on the ground. Against a team that's known for being shaky against the run. You give the man 8 carries. No game flow excuse can justify that. There's no blowout logic, no snap count management that makes that okay. When something is working, you keep going to it. That's basic football. But again, it's like the Ravens saw what worked and ran away from it. It's hard to explain how frustrating this is, because fans keep getting told to trust the process. But what process are we even watching? Every time they play the Chiefs, it looks like they've never seen a football field before. They abandon their identity. They overthink everything. They shoot themselves in the foot before the play even begins. And it's not like this is new. These are the same problems we've seen for years, especially in the big games. Especially when it matters most. And on top of all that, the injury bug decided to pay a visit again. Lamar goes down with a hamstring issue. Done for the day. Cooper Rush steps in and brings absolutely nothing to the table. The offense completely stalls. And while injuries are part of the game, you still expect your coaching staff to have some kind of plan B. But there was nothing. No spark. No adjustment. Just vibes. And those vibes were trash. Justin Hill had a nice 71-yard touchdown, which was probably the only highlight of the night. Shout out to him. Zay Flowers had a big catch too. A real, go up and get it kind of play that made you remember this team as talent. But those moments were drowned out by all the bad. You can't survive on a couple highlight plays. You need consistency. And this team has none right now. None. The penalties didn't help either. 2 delay of game flags on the same drive. That's junior varsity stuff. That's the kind of thing that shows a total lack of focus and preparation. Then there was intentional grounding. It was a mess. A total breakdown in execution and discipline. And look, I get that every team goes through rough patches. I get that sometimes you lose to better squads. But this wasn't just a case of the Chiefs being better. The Ravens helped them win. They made it easy. It's like they handed Kansas City the playbook, pointed to the weak spots, and said, "Here, go score." The play calling, the lack of adjustments, the sloppy execution, the mental lapses, it all adds up. And it paints a picture of a team that, right now, just isn't ready to win on this level. And we're not even done talking about the defense yet. That's a whole separate storm. But offensively, this game was a disaster. Not because they couldn't compete, but because they didn't even try the right way. Now let's talk about that Ravens defense, if we can even call it that right now. Because whatever that was against Kansas City, it sure didn't look like a professional unit. And it definitely didn't look like a group that wanted to make any kind of statement. I mean, going into the game, you already heard the whispers. Watch the Ravens get Mahomes back on track. People were half joking, half serious. And what happened? That's exactly what went down. Mahomes looked like prime Mahomes. 25 completions, over 270 yards, for touchdowns, not a single interception. They made it easy for him. Like, he wasn't just playing well, he was out there chilling. No pressure, no hurry, no fear. And that's what makes it so frustrating. Because this defense came into the season with all this hype, all these expectations. Supposed to be physical, supposed to be aggressive, supposed to cause chaos. But instead, they've looked soft. No push up front, no consistent pass rush. And that's not just a Chiefs problem. It's been an every week problem. The pocket is clean. The opposing quarterback gets to go through all his reads without even breaking a sweat. You can't win in this league like that. You're giving elite QBs all day to operate. It's game over before the snap. Zach or's play calling on defense. Bruh, I don't even know what to say anymore. It's like he's experimenting with people's sanity. You got edge rushers dropping back into coverage. You got defensive linemen trying to cover space instead of attacking. What are we doing? What's the identity here? Because it feels like this unit doesn't know whether it wants to play fast and physical or cautious and confused. It's one thing to mix things up, to throw some disguises out there. But this was just chaos. Bad chaos. And Harbaugh? He keeps defending or like nothing's wrong. Talking about how close the defense is. Man, if this is close, I don't want to see far. You can feel it slipping, and that's the scariest part. Because defense used to be the heartbeat of this team. You used to walk into games thinking, all right, even if the offense struggles, the D will hold it down. Not anymore. Now, it's the defense getting blown off the ball. It's the defense missing tackles, blowing assignments, and giving up big plays in crucial moments. And the Chiefs didn't even need Travis Kelce to go crazy. He was out there, sure, but he wasn't the problem. It was everybody else. Hollywood Brown scored. Juju Smith-Schuster got one. Xavier Worthy had a field day. Even the running backs were wide open in the flat all night long. Mahomes just kept dumping it off, and the Ravens acted like they didn't even notice. Like that wasn't part of the playbook. And the tackling? Don't even get me started. Missed tackle after missed tackle. Guys flying past the ball. Reaching, diving, grabbing air. That's effort. That's technique. That's coaching. It's all of it. And it's been happening week after week. This wasn't some random off night. This is a pattern. And yeah, the injuries hurt. Roquan Smith went down. Marlon Humphrey got hurt again. Nate Wiggins left the game late. That stuff matters. But let's not act like this defense was looking elite before all that happened. They were already getting exposed, already playing soft. So while the injuries don't help, they're not the excuse people think they are. There was a stretch in the fourth quarter where the Chiefs just kept scoring like they were doing a walkthrough. And the worst part? Baltimore had no answers. No adjustment. No fight. Just a team slowly sinking, with nobody grabbing the wheel. And I don't even blame the Chiefs for running up the score. They were just doing what they were allowed to do. If anything, it felt like they were showing the Ravens how to run a competent game plan. And that's just embarrassing. This defense has no identity. Like, what are they good at right now? Do they stop the run? Not really. Do they take the ball away? Rarely. Can they blitz effectively? Nope. Do they get sacks? Barely. Do they lock up in coverage? Not even close. So what's left? What do you hang your hat on? Because I don't see it. And you got players like Kyle Hamilton apologizing for calling the fans spoiled, but nobody on that field is playing like they actually care. It's the same issues every week. The same almosts and maybes. No fire. No leadership. Just more excuses. And let's not ignore the coaching either. Because at some point, this all comes back to John Harbaugh. This is his team. These are his assistants. This is the system he believes in. And if things are falling apart like this, if players aren't executing, if the schemes aren't working, if the energy is dead, then that's on him. That's not just about Zach or Todd Monken. That's the head coach's job. To lead. To set the tone. To make adjustments. And Harbaugh is just not doing that right now. Honestly, you can feel the locker room slipping too. These aren't just physical breakdowns. They're mental. Emotional. You see the body language on the sidelines. The dropped heads. The confused expressions. The visible frustration. It's not just a one-game thing. It's been building. And if you ask me, yeah, I do think Harbaugh is starting to lose that locker room. Not because he visited the White House or whatever, none of that matters. But because his message might just be getting stale. This voice, this style, this structure, it might not be hitting the same anymore. And once that happens, it's hard to pull it back together. Look, nobody's saying Harbaugh hasn't done great things for this franchise. Super Bowl champion. Built a culture. Helped develop Lamar. But at some point, past success can't protect you from present failure. There's no immunity. Not in this league. Teams make changes all the time. Coaches with better resumes have gotten fired for doing less. So if this season keeps heading the way it's heading, then yeah, a serious conversation needs to be had. And not just about coordinators either. This is a top-down problem. You got a defense that's completely lost and a head coach who either can't or won't fix it. You got players playing out of position. Scheme choices that make no sense. Zero pressure on quarterbacks. No discipline in the back end. Big names underperforming. Young guys left to carry too much of the load. And then every week it's the same. We're close. We just gotta clean it up. At what point does that stop being a coaching cliche and start becoming a wake-up call? Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. In what could be the blockbuster move of the NFL season, whispers around the league are pointing to the Baltimore Ravens pulling off a shocking deal for wide receiver Terry McLaurin from Washington. Sources close to the situation hint that the Ravens, long searching for a game-changing weapon on the outside, may have finally landed the star they've coveted, and the move could send shockwaves through the AFC North. The chatter started subtly this week, with insiders noting McLaurin's rumored dissatisfaction in Washington, where offensive inconsistencies and quarterback uncertainty have left the talented wideout frustrated. The Ravens, with Lamar Jackson at the helm and a dynamic rushing attack that often draws defensive attention, suddenly make an irresistible landing spot. Imagine McLaurin's route-running precision paired with Jackson's electric playmaking. It's the kind of chemistry that could redefine the division hierarchy overnight. Fans and analysts alike are abuzz, speculating on the implications. Could this be the Ravens' ticket to dethroning the Bengals, who have dominated headlines in the AFC North for the past seasons? Or is this a calculated risk, a high-stakes gamble on a receiver who has excelled despite a carousel of quarterbacks and shifting offensive schemes? The murmurs suggest the Ravens' front office isn't afraid to shake things up, and McLaurin's arrival could tilt the balance in a division already known for its unpredictability. While official confirmation remains absent, the rumor mill is running wild, with social media lighting up every time McLaurin's name is mentioned alongside Baltimore. Mock trades and fantasy projections are already flooding forums, as pundits try to forecast the new dynamics of the Ravens' offense. One thing seems certain. If this deal comes to fruition, it won't just be a roster move, it will be a statement. Terry McLaurin in Baltimore is the kind of shakeup that makes football headlines, and the AFC North may never look the same again. Whether this is reality or just another tantalizing NFL whisper, the idea alone has fans talking. The Ravens could be on the brink of something spectacular, and McLaurin might just be the piece that turns speculation into dominance. Keep your eyes on Baltimore. This could be the start of a new era, and no one in the division will want to be left behind. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.